Hello, 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 everyone. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. And you know what? It's been a minute since I have been here live on Facebook or on YouTube, but I did not want to let this opportunity get by me, especially with the long Labor Day holiday. So if you are heading out, but before I even talk about that, I'm sending up prayers for anyone and everyone who has been affected by Hurricane Ida and the aftermath. It is really, really devastating to see all the flooding and the tornadoes, the wind. I mean, it's just an amazing, amazing scene. And like I said, when you wake up looking up, everything else is gravy, baby. So, whatever, you're going through right now, just be prayerful and thankful that you're here for another day. So, speaking of here for another day, whether or not you are watching this live or perhaps in the replay because you're getting ready to hit the roads or the airports or whatever the case may be, you're going to the shore in New Jersey or down to the beaches in Delaware, make sure that you are safe and that you pay attention and follow the guidelines regardless of what your beliefs are. We're still going through something. So today I just wanted to pop in and talk about podcast interview checklists. Now, some of you have been thinking about starting a podcast. I know. I'm getting new clients like almost every week because podcasting is such a powerful medium. It's a great way in which to broaden your brand and expand your exposure online. It's not a replacement of what you're currently doing. It's just an addition to what you're doing. And if you've been thinking about starting a podcast and you want to bring on guests, it makes it a little bit more fun and less lonely. But there's some tips that I want to give you to make sure that when you start your show, that it is going to grow smoothly. So you're starting think about doing that podcast. You've got your title, you've got your description, you've got your name, you've got your intro, you've got your outro, your trailer, you're ready to rock and roll. And now you want to reach out and bring on other subject matter experts to your podcast. Now, what I like to do is I simply create a Google Doc. That Google Doc is actually the registration and release form. So, what I'm asking is not only their name, but how they want to be addressed on the show. Oftentimes, people may go by a nickname. You guys may know me as Antoinette. Some people may know me as Tony. So, if I want you to address me as Tony or the Delaware blogger or the DE Diva, I give you that option. So, especially if you have some professional numbers and letters behind your name. So you might want to do that as well. So give them an opportunity to write out what it is, how they want to be addressed on the show. Also, you want to have their platforms, their social media platforms. So when you're doing that, you want to get all that information, their name, their bio, their headshot. You can go ahead and Google them and find out what it is that they do, they've said, or they've done, but it always gives you a better opportunity for them to provide that information. So get that information, get their bio, get their headshot, get their website platforms and their links. Make sure you have all of that information in front of you or as part of your write-up. And speaking of your write-up, you want to make sure that you have an outline or a Q&A. I have a Q&A, I go step by step, what I'm going to say, and then their name. I don't tell them what to say. They don't want to be told what to say, but just so that they know it's the flow of the show. So make sure you have an outline of all your questions, your topics, or anything that you wish to cover during the podcast interview. And of course, a week before, the day before, an hour before, send an email reminder. We get so busy. We may have, scheduled that interview with our guests a week before, and they've signed up for the Zoom or for the conference call or the Skype, whatever the case may be. And that day will come and something will happen. Life will happen. So send them a reminder. They may have to push back the time, which is another thing that you want to think about. choosing a particular day that you do your pre-records. That way you've locked in 5, 6, 7, even 8 hours to play around with, and you're not worried about someone running late. So get all the guest information, their bio, their headshot, their social media links, create a Q&A or an outline of what you want to talk about, and then also send an email so that they know that they're scheduled. You're looking forward to that interview. So that's the pre-interview checklist, really easy breezy. During the interview or right before you press that record button, test your internet connection. Yes, make sure everything is right and tight. There's nothing worse than having, your internet go down and there's no connectivity. So test that first. Close out any of your previous tabs. You know how sometimes we're working on 50 million things and we've got all these 50 million tabs across the top of our laptop. Close them down. Restart your computer. Actually restart it to kind of clean it out, flush it out so that you're good. Open up your podcast software. Are you using Audacity? Will you be recording on Audacity? Will you be recording on Zoom? Will you be recording on StreamYard? That's right. You could do your podcast interview on StreamYard. So make sure you open up the app. Everything looks good. Your background, if you're not doing a visual, is fine, because no one can see it. They can only hear you. So check all of that. Test your microphone. Make sure you got your green. Yep, everything is green. I've done podcasts and my mic was asleep, and so it really wasn't picking up everything. It was picking up, the audio from my computer, and it sounded terrible. So make sure your mic is on. Make sure you got your headphones. If you're using headphones, make sure that they're connected, they're working, you got them on. Also, if you have a webcam, if you're going to be visually doing a podcast, make sure your webcam is good and, everything is good. So check that. Then do a sound check. Before you press record, have a simple conversation with your guests. And that is why having headsets are great, because it's isolating any external noise and you can hear what they sound like as well. There may be some background noises, some fans or air conditioner, maybe dogs barking, kids running around, lawnmowers, whatever. Listen so that is not distracting to the interview, because that is the last thing you want to happen. If they're in a car, please tell them, pad the car so it's not all the glass, and don't go through the Bluetooth. That's a really bad connection. Bluetooth connection is not good. If they're walking around in a park or outside, have them stop and stay still. Yes, that's happened to me many a time. And I recorded the whole episode and didn't realize it because I didn't have my headphones on, that there was too much background noises. And then you have to reschedule or, just tank that one and keep going. So do that sound check with your guest first before you press record. And then while you're recording, when you do press record, have fun. Have a conversation with your guests. You want to make this light. You want to make, regardless of the topic, you want to make it conversational, as if you're having a conversation with the person, your best friend, whomever it is. You want to do that because if you're having fun, that is going to come through in your voice. People are going to hear the excitement. People are going to hear the positivity. So if you're having fun and everything sounds good, it's going to be a much better sounding podcast. So that's the interview. During the interview, test your connections. Make sure you close out those tabs. You may even want to restart your computer. Make sure your mic is working, your headphones are working. You've got your audio, Audacity, Zoom, StreamYard, whatever the case may be. Do a sound check before you press record. Listen to your guest. Make sure that he or she there's no background noises. There's not a lot of, external noises that's going to sound bad during the recording. And then have fun. And after everything is said and done, send an email. Say thank you. Thank you for being on my show. I thank my guests, on Out and About with Antoinette before I end the episode. But then afterwards, send them an email thanking them for being on the show and when the show is going to go live. I keep a spreadsheet for all my guests. And I put down the not only the episode number, the name, the topic, the pre-record date, the published date, and the date that I put it on my blog. I normally repurpose the content using the show notes and put it on my blog as well. And if I do a newsletter or graphics or anything like that, this also helps to keep you organized. And I have a copy of this that you are more than welcome to have. Speaking of which, I have this free printable, this free downloadable printable of everything that I'm covering today. If you'd like a copy of that, just send an email. Let me give you my email address. Just send it to info@ablakeenterprises.com. And in the subject line, put in podcast interview checklist, and I will send that out to you. So after the interview is over, email them, thanking them for being a guest on your show, as well as the link when it's published so that they can share it with their family, their friends, their bae, and their boo too. And also share it on all your social media platforms, and not just once, but several times. What I do is I publish it on the day it drops. Later that evening, maybe 6, 8 hours later, 3 or 4 days later, and then bi-weekly or bi-monthly. As long as your content is evergreen, meaning it's a topic that you can talk about any time of the year, you can republish that content. Use Hootsuite, Buffer app, Promo Republic to schedule it to go again, because you're getting new listeners with each episode, with each show. So you never know. Someone may be listening to episode number 25 and they want to listen to episode 1 or episode 12, whatever. So that is why you want to make sure that you repurpose your content. So head over to dellblogger.com. And not only do I have podcasting pointers there, I have podcasting pointers on YouTube. I also have podcasting pointers in my resource guide, which is still available on Amazon.com. So I just want to take a few minutes of your time today, just 15 minutes, just hit it and quit it, come in. Wish you guys a wonderful long Labor Day holiday, whatever you're doing, or if you're doing absolutely nothing at all, enjoy. Fam and I, tomorrow, DSU versus BSU. It's a rivalry, My son graduated from Bowie State University. Hubby and I graduated from Delaware State University. So it's going to be an internal, fight going on as well. So no, it's all good. So if you have any questions, there's my email address. Find and follow me on all my social media platforms using my Linktree ID, Dell Blogger. In the meantime, in between time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. Have a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.